Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, I hope everyone had a pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. It's been overall a little quiet on the baseball front. Before the holiday, there was some news. Of course, we had the signing of Aaron Nola. That was kind of the first, big-name free agent off the books there. And he, again, rejoins the Phillies for the tune of $142 million for 7 years. And he's someone I didn't think the Yankees were going to consider. I know they threw the name out there, but, again, I think the Yankees, if they're going to press hard, they're going to go for Yamamoto, and that's kind of what I referenced in the latest YouTube episode, if you go check it out. If the Yankees are going to spend big money on pitching, I'd rather them go for Yamamoto. I figure they would go for Yamamoto, and that seems where the direction is heading. But kind of interesting now, you're hearing a little noise that the Yankees are kind of keeping tabs on Jordan Montgomery. Again, he's another free agent out there that Yankees may want to consider. So I'm going to kind of just do a little analysis where I think the Yankees would target him or not. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. So if you're a first-time listener or a long-time listener, still haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and get notified right away when new episodes go up. And of course, I mentioned there is the YouTube channel as well. So go to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and there's episodes there. Probably not as frequently here, but nevertheless, you want to catch it all, make sure you subscribe. I want to jump back with the Jordan Montgomery, hearing a little noise that the Yankees at least keeping tabs on him, or maybe would consider bringing him back. Now, it's a possibility. They didn't really leave on bad terms. Again, he was traded during the 2022 season to St. Louis for Harrison Bader. But again, there was really no bad blood when he left. He kind of understood, and he kind of flourished in St. Louis when he got there. He started off 4-0, and it just seemed like, whoa, this wasn't the guy we had for some reason. He kind of transformed himself. So now you could blame that a little bit on the Yankee staff for not being able to cultivate the best out of him, or it could just be Jordan himself. I don't know. Sometimes you just go to a new situation, a change of situation, and things click in for whatever reason. So again, it's something the Yankees have to decide. But of course, Montgomery referenced that he found more success outside the Yankee organization because he was allowed to use his fastball more. It just seemed like the coaching staff there want a lot of sliders, a lot of breaking balls, because they want a lot of swing and misses, which the Yankees, are known to get. But also, maybe it makes some pitchers uncomfortable, like Jordan Montgomery. And we've heard the same from Sonny Gray, who has also done well once leaving the Yankees. That the Yankees rely too many on sliders in the dirt, breaking balls, stuff like that, which again, it increases your walks. Maybe it hinders your ability to throw a fastball for a strike when you need to. So, there is something to be said about that. But nevertheless, the question is, would the Yankees consider bringing Jordan Montgomery back? Now, again, Yamamoto is going to probably be the top pitching target. But again, for some reason, if that doesn't come through, the Yankees are still probably going to want to add another arm, and maybe Montgomery might be the answer there. So we'll look at him overall. He's 30 years old, so, still relatively young. I don't think he'll command, even though he had a good postseason run and, he's been decent since leaving the Yankees, I don't think he's the type of guy that would command a big contract. So quite possibly you could get him on like a 4-year deal, which is somewhat reasonable, if you only have to carry him until he's 35. And the way the type of pitcher he is, he's sort of a finesse, breaking ball, curveball type pitcher. He's not a guy that you're relying on to have a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. So even if he's a couple years older, I think he can still be crafty and win ball games like an Andy Pettitte or even CC Sabathia when, Sabathia had to kind of change his MO as he got a little bit older. So again, it wouldn't be a terrible deal. So we'll look at the numbers now. Once he left the Yankees in 2022 with St. Louis, he went 6-3 with an ERA of .311. And then 2023, now he did not get off to the greatest of starts, but St. Louis was a terrible team. You have to keep that in mind. But before being traded to Texas, he was 2-7 with an ERA of 3.42. So even though he was has a losing record and actually lost. Actually, the Cardinals lost 10 straight games with him on the mound. But again, it was more about the Cardinals than it was him. Once he got traded over to Texas, then went to 4-2 in 11 starts with an even better ERA of 2.79. And overall, if you look at his 2023, with both St. Louis and Texas, he went 10-11, one game under 500. But again, you got to keep in account that he was on a terrible Cardinals team, but it's still a very respectable ERA of 3.20 and lugged 188.2 innings there. So, a good workload there. Not getting hurt much. And again, a good ERA, and was very good in the postseason. So would the Yankees consider bringing him back? I think if they get Yamamoto, there's no chance it will, because I don't think you're going to spend money on both there. You still have Cole there under contract, and I know there's a whole debate whether he will opt out or not in 2024. Don't think so, but if he does, I think the Yankees would just give him a pay bump to keep him there. But you have Rendon on the contract. You're paying a lot of money to. You have Nestor Cortez there. Let's say you have Yamamoto there, so you got 4 now. Could you sign him as a fifth starter? Yeah, but I don't think you're going to spend money just on a fifth starter. That's usually someone you just have a rotation of guys in, so whether that's going to be Clark Schmidt, Michael King, maybe someone else there down in the minors that might compete for that fifth starter job. Usually that last spot is a compete job, so if they sign Yamamoto, I just don't see any chance they would also sign Montgomery as well. Again, you're just not going to pay big money for a fifth starter when you could get a guy more or less to do the same, paying him peanuts there. So if Yamamoto, yes, then I say Montgomery, no. Now, if there's no Yamamoto, and again, the Yankees do need another reliable arm in there, I think you could possibly see Montgomery. That's the only thing. It would be a little weird because then the Yankees would then have three left-handers. That would, this is kind of unique to have three left-handers in your starting rotation with Rendon, Nestor, and Montgomery. So it gave the team an interesting look. I think Montgomery just being away from the Yankees. I think coming back, I think he'll be a better version of himself than what we saw him. So I think that'd be helpful. It's still New York, still the AL East, so it's a tougher division to pitch and perform in. So I don't know if he'll be as sparkly as he was with Texas and St. Louis, but I think he'll definitely be a better version of himself than when we first had Montgomery, who wasn't terrible, but he was what he was, which is why I got traded. He was a fourth or fifth starter, guy that maybe go five, maybe pitch an out or two into the sixth inning, and that's it. He wasn't this guy that was lugging 7, 8 shutout innings in postseason games that we saw with Texas. So, again, you could blame the Yankee staff for not being able to cultivate that out of him, but also, hey, he never performed that way for the Yankees in the first place. If he did, they would have never traded him for Harrison Bader. And, you never got a statement from Cashman like, well, he isn't in our postseason plans there. Well, because he never did it before, so how can you depend on the guy to pitch in the postseason? So, but nevertheless, we know he has it in him to do that, so that's good news. So that's the episode, so kind of a little quick insert there. Monty's floating around. I'll give him a 30% chance that the Yankees would resign him, just because I think the focus right now is going to be on Yamamoto, and if you bring him in here, you already have your top 4 starters, and I understand you always want to add arms and things happen, people get hurt, but I don't think you're going to spend money again for a fifth starter, because then if no one gets hurt, now you kind of backlogged a little bit with almost too many starters in a way, and I just don't see that happening. So the chances of a Yankee Monty reunion, I say, is quite low, and you also hear other teams like the Tigers are going to pursue him. And that probably makes a little bit more sense. They probably need the pitching more. And it gives Montgomery an opportunity to get like a long-term, maybe a 4 or 5 year deal and kind of establish himself finally. Maybe he could take the Tigers team as his, and maybe he'll be like a number 1 or number 2 type starter. Then it'll be like his staff versus him sort of being someone in the background on the Yankees there. So if anything, I could see Montgomery more going to a team like the Tigers and the Yankees. But if he comes back, it's not terrible because we like Monty. Of course, unfortunately for him, he'll have to shave that red beard of his. Catch you next time.